married women are the easiest to have an affair with. Especially is because a lot of married women, like my wife, she told me is that if she finds a guy who can show her care and intimacy, then it will not take long before that guy gets into her pants. Because the way to our wife's nini is through her heart. Yes. You know? Yes. It's through her heart. It's the way you make her feel.
We are told that men need, they have two, as we are told, two stomachs. They have two stomachs and they both have to be filled. So you feel like, so if I do not want and he wants, I have to submit to give. So it feels like I'm going to marriage to become like a slave.
Yeah. Women think submission is weakness. You know, that I'm supposed to come, you know, and be as strong, show my strength. But you know, this strength, this boldness, this unajua mimi, you know, we can go it one-on-one. It is very unattractive to a man, you know, very unattractive to a man. And men have a weakness. Every man on the globe have a weakness for a woman who is submissive.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of LNS Rebuilding Restoration Series. My name is Lynn Ngugi and I am so happy that you get to join us for another beautiful episode, because if there's one thing that I love doing on the show is having very authentic conversations. Today we rebuild our intimacy, and I love that not only are we going to talk about intimacy, but we are going to talk about a difference between a marriage and a wedding, because that's one thing that people have really said on the show. Lynn, a marriage and a wedding see the same thing, and I love that our guests are really outspoken on today's conversations. They are running a couple of even WhatsApp groups, and I know people from my circle who are in those WhatsApp groups, and they are doing an incredible job in making sure that we continue to rebuild our marriage lives one story at a time. I'm about to let them introduce themselves so that we can start this conversation, but before I do that, thank you so much to my incredible team for putting this work together. I've always said that you see me in front of the camera, but it takes an entire village. By the way, kabla hata show ianze ile kustima inatufanyia, but we must push on, we must go on. So thank you so much, Team LNN, for always coming through and making sure we continue giving our audience beautiful conversations. And now, of course, without further ado, please allow me to let my guests today introduce themselves. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
Mko salama?
Poa.
Leo nimewapanga. Disclaimer, they're introducing themselves the second time, because Steve imeamua to do what he does after we've started the show, but we decided to start afresh.
Yes.
Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? Good.
Fine.
You're feeling good?
Yes, good, yes.
For sure?
Yes.
Karibuni kwetu sana. I am so happy to have you here. Yes. Personally, I have followed your journey together. I think many people have in the country, but it's really nice to have you here on the platform to be able to rebuild with us. Matters intimacy, matters marriage. I don't take it for granted, but I know there are people who are catching you for the very first time. So please, do you mind introducing yourself?
So my name is Gathoni Kiruuthi. I'm a born again Christian. I am a wife to one Ben Kiruuthi.
Yes.
I am also a mom to 4 wonderful children. And yes, and we are wedding photographers. Yes, we've done that for the last 12 years. Yes, for the last 12 years. Yes, and we are happy to be here. And so honored. Yes.
Karibu sana.
Ben,
what he do, what he does.
Thank you. So my name is Ben Kiruuthi, as my wife ably introduced me. And I am also a Christian. I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ. I'm 41 years of age. I turned 41 a few days ago. A few days ago. We are currently raising 4 little children. And keeping us very busy, but we're also wedding photographers, and we also run a photography studio. And we also run a ministry for the single and for the married.
Okay.
Yes, with a big focus on helping the singles meet your life partner, and also helping married people navigate through issues of sex and intimacy.
All right. So today you get to talk to us on the single side and also the married.
The married side, yes.
Nice one. This is going to be fire. I can't wait.
Yes.
But you know the funny thing, you guys, we have followed your journey. It's like we feel like we know you. We don't know you, but we know you. You are saying you have 4 kids already.
Yes.
We witnessed your wedding. We witnessed your Horatios. We witnessed your coupleness. And how many years have passed now?
10.
Guy, that tells people how old But who else would we have followed those days? Who else would we? So those are beautiful 10 years.
Yes.
God, how has it been?
It's been amazing. It's been a learning process. It's been learning and relearning. And it's not easy to live with a person who is not your brother or your sister. You keep learning your partner every day because they also keep changing. Whatever you learned yesterday, you will learn something more, or you'll have to unlearn and learn something else. Yes, but it's a beautiful journey. It's not boring because you keep learning. You're on your toes every day. And and also it's good to feel loved and to be loved. It's a feeling that you cannot express. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
How does it feel? And she says it very confidently. It's good to love and to feel loved. To feel, so she's feeling very loved.
Amen.
How has it been?
I think, Lynn, first and foremost, it's very nice to hear that coming from her. Because, God gave the husbands a mission to love their wives as Christ loved the church. And so, I can tell myself I love her, but hearing it again from her, that's different because she's the recipient of my love. And just a recap of the 10 years. 10 years has been the most wonderful 10 years of my life. Let me say it so. It is, I think you cannot explain the way she's saying what it means to share your life with someone else and to be fully known and fully loved. Because it's very easy for someone to love you because they know just a part of you. But then Gathoni knows everything about me. She knows my good and my bad, and she's still able to love me. That's a beautiful feeling. I think there's nothing that can compare to that. Not even winning $1 million in the lottery. I think being loved and getting to love is one of the best feelings on earth. And I think that's why God called us to the single ministry, so that everybody needs to experience love. This kind of love.
What's in it? What's in it for love? Why do we gotta experience love? And also when someone says, I love you, what makes you know they love me?
Love, first of all, from my interpretation, it's not a feeling, but it has action. It is it's a doing. It's called a doing verb. It's a doing verb. Yes, because love, it's expressed in different forms. Is this person kind to you? Is this person selfish, or does that person kind? Is this person patient with you?
Do they care about?
Do they care about? Yeah. So it's those small things you feel. This person is kind to me. This person is looking after my own, not after his own, but your own interest. Yeah. So now from there, now that's when you get that feeling of love. But it's those those actions,
the small ones.
Yes.
Then what do you think?
Yeah, I think I support her fully. I think she's borrowing it from 1 Corinthians 13. That is a beautiful definition of love, because very many people equate love to a feeling. And one thing that we realize about marriage is that the feeling fades after the honeymoon.
Oh yeah.
No way. The feeling fades.
The feeling fades.
Tunaachwa tukifanya.
It fades. The moment you open your door and you get into the house, then reality hits.
Yes.
And what reality does, reality gets rid of the feeling. Now you are left with an intentional creation of love. What Gathoni is speaking about, that love is kind. And I think kindness is one of the most, if for you to know that someone loves you, they have to be kind to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we are seeing a mushrooming of what people call narcissists. And one of the key traits of a narcissist is that they are unkind to you. Love is kind, love is patient. You know, Gathoni looking like this, it took time. And for me at first I was like, hey man, you know me, I'm used to taking a shower, Vaseline, and leaving the house. Now we have to leave 2 hours later, you know, and I'm so angry, you know. But Gathoni has taught me, but she taught me how to be patient, you know, because, you know, as I love her, I am also learning, I'm also growing. She has taught me how to put her needs before my own. And this has been hard because, you know, men, we're inherently selfish. You know, we love, the Bible even says, husbands love your wives as your own bodies, because everybody knows men love themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. And so getting to love someone else as much as I love me, well, that was hard. And I'm still doing it 10 years later. Love doesn't keep a record of wrongs. And for me, I think that was hard because there's the thing about forgiving and forgetting. And you know, when you're with someone 24/7, in a day there can be like 10 opportunities for them to make you angry, you know? Like 10, at least 10.
10
you know?
millies.
10 millies.
Like 20, 30.
Yeah, you know, sometimes the way they breathe just makes you angry, you know, the way they chew, you know?
Uchako sana na your person, hata venye anachew inakuwa.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly, everything is
exactly,
just...
yeah. Yeah, and you know, and that's why love doesn't keep a record. Because, you know, if it was a record, you'll maliza the exercise books in your house, you know, keeping a record of all the way she has made you angry or all the way she has wronged you. But that is love. And I think love is beautiful because love in marriage, love gets environment for it to mature, for it to grow from puppy love. So puppy love is the kind of love that people have when they're dating, you know. The way they look at each other, you know, the way they hold hands, the way they feel butterflies in the tummy when they meet each other.
You're driving me crazy, kind of love.
Yes, that is puppy love.
Yes.
That is a house made of cards. But now when you get into a house and you're living together with someone, as Gathoni has said, now you begin to build the real kind of love, the genuine kind of love. The love that is built not on sand, but on actual foundation. And I think that is God's plan for marriage, you know, for a man and woman to know each other so closely, you know, that now everything automatic disappears. Now you have to start building everything intentionally, brick by brick. And that is the beauty of marriage, you know, and I'm enjoying and learning so much from Gathoni. Let me just end with something else before
Feel free.
Before we jump to Gathoni, is that I realized that people change. And my wife here, Gathoni, every 6, not even no, every 2 weeks, I get a different version of her, you know, a new version of her that I never knew, that I never married, you know, and so now I have to now go back to the drawing board, you know, and relearn a new woman. So at first it was a point of contention, you know. I used to be like, why aren't you the same person? But then I learned to embrace that now I get to marry different women, you know. Now I get a surprise every so often.
Yes.
Now I get to meet somebody who is new and fresh, you know. And I was like, God, thank you for giving me 1,000 women in one. So I'm like Solomon. Yes.
I see what you did there. Yes. Why do you change on this month?
This journey of life, there are many things that will make you change. So the children come, and then every child who God blesses us with comes with their own character, and and then every child is different, so you have to adapt to new things. So every time, especially I think the biggest change has happened, especially when during the motherhood phase.
Yeah.
Yes, but he's enjoying it.
Yes, plus we blame our hormones. We blame our hormones fully. This is not us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's an act.
I remember when you just got married, and you know, during that time of the month, and I will be moody, and he's wondering, why why are you moody? Why are you feeling like not talking to me or don't feel like you are not yourself?
Yeah.
And he could not understand that it is not me. It is something that is above me. And but he adapted to it. He did.
I am so tempted to go back to how did you guys meet in respect of the people who might not have followed your journey.
Okay.
Yes,
Let me just do that, just so me, because I know there are people maybe catching you guys. Briefly, could you tell us how you knew she was the one, you know, or how you knew he was the one? How did you guys meet? Let's lay a foundation here.
Okay. So we met in 2009 in January. And we met in church. We were both from the same church. And we dated. We did.
Gathoni,
yes?
Here we don't move like
You
that.
don't move like
You can't deny us all the juicy details. We met in church, we dated. What did you see? What did you see? By Dama.
Okay.
Apana. Come back.
So we met. Let's do this again.
Let's do this again.
Yeah. So we met in 2009 in church, and then he was heading the drama team in church. So there was a call for what? Casting. A casting call.
Yeah.
And because I was at home, I was not doing anything. I decided, let me try this thing.
Yes.
And I joined. I happened to be, I think, the only one who went for the casting call. So I'm the only who went. So I was the only one who got that position. So it was not a big cast. So we were just, I think, four people.
Yes.
They were 3, so they needed one more. So we were 4. He happened to be the one to be the scriptwriter, the director, the everything, and even among the actors.
Tyler Perry style.
And he was so good at it. At that time, he was very good at writing.
We don't doubt.
Yes. And so that is how we met. Yes, so from there, I was the only girl, actually. It was 1 girl and 3 men. So they used to push me to take me home after, because it used to run late. So he'll take me home. Yeah, but slowly started showing interest.
Him?
Yes.
Okay, not you.
Not me. I was not even there. My mind was even, me, I'd come for the play.
Yeah.
I'd come to become an actor.
Okay.
So, so slowly, he showed interest. He wanted to sit down, have a conversation, he needs some chat. So after even church on Sunday afternoons, we'll sit down on a tree just in the church compound. We cooler story. We chat, and then we go our separate ways. So slowly, we became very good friends.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, he asked me out. Then we dated.
The first time I saw her, I knew she was going to be my wife. Yeah, you know the way she, like it was in a small door, it was in a small room, and then the way she enters into the room and she blocks the sunlight, and like a Spanish movie or Spanish soap opera. And so she walks into the room, and all of us were just like,
and blocks the
blocks, illuminates, yeah.
You become confused.
Yeah, and it just feels like it's just me and her in the room. And so I saw her and I was like, wow, she's amazing. One of the things that really caught my eye then, other than definitely her beauty, which is obvious, not only to me, but to many beholders, yeah? So, was her heart. And I can't explain how her heart just shone through her, her heart. She was such a simple girl. She was such a humble person, She was just oozing kindness, And I just saw, this is a wife.
What was different? What was the wife material in her? Is it the dressing?
Yeah.
We get the illumination.
The illumination,
but
yes.
what was this wife material? Ulimuona ukasema, this is different.
Yeah, that's a very deep question, Lynn. Because it is very hard to explain what the heart feels. But what happens is that there is normally a connection between a heart-to-heart connection. And you normally feel, one of the things, for me, I think that really attracts men is a a gentle spirit, and a kind spirit. And it's even in the Bible. The Bible says that do not let your adornment be of hair, of makeup, of earrings, you know, all that, but let it be of the inward person, you know, of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth before God and even before us men. So, you know, so someone told me, let me just segue a bit. Someone told me, asked a friend of mine, why are you single? You know, he's a very good looking man, Christian man, you know, tall, all that, you know, the whole package. He told me, Ben, you know, in Nairobi, there are very many girls, but very few wives.
Wow.
In fact, wives are so rare and far between that they're all married.
Oh my God.
You know? I was like, hey, man, I was like, that was wisdom, you know, I learned wisdom. Yeah, but I think that's what I saw in her, is that us men, we have like an antenna, you know. It's like our own sixth sense that just detects the heart, you know. And even though we men, we are very visual, you know, we look at the hips, the size of the waist, all that, but most importantly, we look at the heart.
So the heart first,
yeah,
then the visual part.
The visual, although now the visual attracts you, you know, the visual attracts you, but then what makes you stay is the heart. It's not the package it comes through. That's why you find a lot of men will go for a woman who doesn't fit the package, you know, but the heart is amazing. And for me, I think when Gathoni walked into the room that day during the casting call, she was a 10. You know, she had the body and the heart to match.
Gathoni,
you know,
you said you were a 10.
Yeah.
Not a 10 like figure. You were a 10,
Yeah,
honey. 10
yeah.
out of 10.
10 over 10.
Minus
yeah.
what?
Yes. And I think in a long way, that's what really caught my attention.
You know,
Yeah.
allow me to maybe once, just let me dig deeper on something
Yes.
you said from a man's perspective.
Yes.
Because you are 25, right?
Yes.
And earlier on, I was talking to you about this book, Unplugged,
Yes,
by
yes.
Jacob Elliott, that I
Yes.
personally love.
Oh,
and
wow.
I would advocate people read it with an open mind, right?
Yes.
And he says,
Yeah.
as a man,
Yeah.
you have no business. I'm not sure if that's what he says. Elliot, I don't know if that's what you say. I'm just
Yeah.
paraphrasing
Yeah.
how I understand it.
Yes.
You have no business being with a woman unless you have you've built yourself as a man.
Yes.
You have no business
Yeah.
looking at a woman until you build yourself as a man.
As a man.
At 25,
Yeah.
what do you know about women?
Yeah.
What do you know about wives? What do you know about marriage? What do you know? And was it what you knew that has gotten you this far? Or it's the lack of what you knew that you had to work on to get you this far?
Yeah. Let me break it down from the start. I think that will explain for God's plan for marriage. Because I think that is where we have gone wrong as society or as culture. And that is why marriages are failing, even in the church. The same percentage, 50% of marriages fail in the church as compared to in culture. And so one of the things that I began to understand is this, that I knew then. At 25, I just finished campus. I was in my first job, my first job, barely making about 20K, you know, before taxes, you know. So it was barely enough for fare and lunch. But one of the things that I realized is that one of the things that God brought a woman as a helper of a man. And allow me to explain this. That Adam was in the Garden of Eden. Yeah. And Adam, the Bible says that Adam was alone. God said it is not good for a man to be alone. So for very long, I was telling Gathoni that, for very long I read it as he was lonely. But Adam was not lonely in the Garden of Eden because he had God and he had the animals to keep him company. But he was alone. He was alone in the fact that God's mission, which was to subdue and to dominate the earth, that was the mission of man. But he realized that Adam being alone, he was ineffective in his mission to subdue and to dominate. You understand? So Eve did not come after Adam had subdued and dominated. Eve came to help Adam to subdue and to dominate. And without Eve, Adam would have been unsuccessful in his mission. You understand? That's why God said, I'm going to make him a helper suitable to him.
Yes.
Not a companion, but a helper. Other versions say a partner. So Gathoni now, then what I saw in her, I saw a partner. I saw somebody who, me and her together, we can take over the world. I saw somebody, even though I have nothing, I just need to have her. I just need to be a team, me and her. And a team of me and Gathoni, then nothing can stand in our path. And that is why it is important for a lot of young men to understand that. To understand that don't go looking for the money, hoping the woman will come. You'll attract the wrong woman. No. Go looking for the woman and then go together. You
Make
two
the money.
go and make the money together.
Gathoni.
Go and build the empire together.
Ukaona mtu hana kitu.
Oh Lord, yes. Yeah.
Mtu akakukujia hana kitu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So for me, I could not date somebody my age. For I knew that from a pretty early age that I wouldn't. I will feel that intellectually hatuko the same, and that actually that is one of the things that attracted me to him, because he would speak and I'm wondering, hey, you have
Wisdom.
a lot of wisdom, and actually I would just sit and just keep quiet. And I was like, hey, Mr. Man.
Yeah.
Yes, but you see, at that particular point, money was not a factor at that particular point. For us, I think we dwelt on our friendship when we first met. So I was in campus out of town, so we'll meet every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Every 2 weeks. And so, but baadaye I moved now to Nairobi. And now when we moved to Nairobi, so we met more often now. There are days that we will not even have money for lunch. We just buy water, we tunakaa hapo Aga Khan walk, and we kula story.
Yeah.
As in, for us, money had never been a factor of why can't we do this. We will just sit there and we'll pray, take our water, then I go back to class, he goes back to work.
Unakula wisdom. Wisdom na maji.
Exactly. I think tulikuwa tumekonda. We were tulikuwa 1 GB, but
I'm a half a GB.
Yeah, so for food, money with no money, we were just good.
But
just good.
Let me ask from a woman's perspective, because
Yes.
there's sprinkle everywhere. There is erinililia wapi kwa Range Rover, mi sicheki kwa baiskeli. Who taught you as a woman that money is not a factor?
For me, I come from a background of women who have shown me how to handle money, handle a marriage, and handle submission. From my grandmother to my mother, now to me. And now I plan to do the same to my daughter. Yes, I have seen my mom just handle, handle family finances and have a working home and a peaceful home and we had a very conducive environment. And even her, she tells us the same from her background. It happened the same. She had so from there I was not a money-minded person to say so. Yes, but the little that we had, I would plan it, even if it was from his pocket. I was in school. Little we had, we'll budget it. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do this, and we will work around whatever we had. Yes, and we were comfortable. We were okay.
You are okay.
Yes.
But let me ask you, allow me.
Yes.
But in the context of what has been said, I just want to see what your thoughts are. Was your dad around in the context? Because some people say if a woman is lacking a father figure during when she is maybe growing up, atarudi akuwe mwanamke kichwa ngumu.
Yes.
Was your dad around? And do you think even if he had not been around, he would still have turned out this way?
So my dad has been around since I was born until now, he's been around.
Yeah.
If you are not around, I don't think I would have turned the way
he was not.
Yes, that one I know for sure. Because for him, he it was not spoken, but he showed us, he loved us, and he guarded us fearlessly. We are 2 girls, and we have a brother, but the 2 girls, we were guarded fearlessly, and he loved us, and he will not even want to see us around boys who are not serious around us. And for sure, that love and protection from my dad, and him even providing for us, I don't think I will have turned the same way if you are not around. Yeah.
So he already showed you what a man is supposed to do in a family.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
Then she said something, submission. Yeah. And I think I was catching you up in an interview, and you said something. She's either the master of submission or she's mastered the art of submission, something like that. What is to you, and it's good that I get to now ask this from a man, because she says she's grown up in your marriage. She knows she can submit, she handles finances, but handling finances and submitting cannot be in the same context for some men. I'm the man, I handle the finance, you submit. To you, what is submission, and what do we get wrong about submission?
Wow. Now, that's a very tricky question to answer. But let me answer from the recipient, not from the giver of submission, from the recipient. One of the most attractive things that a man gets from a woman is submission. And let me explain submission from my perspective. So one of the women that I can learn submission from is a woman called Ruth. Yeah, Ruth in the Bible. So Ruth and Boaz. So Ruth, she comes into a foreign country, and then she begins to work in the field. And the field is owned by a man called Boaz. And this field, Boaz is he's in the market. He's a young, handsome billionaire. Single billionaire. He's a bachelor. Kwasoko, you know. And so all these women, they come to the field to glean and to harvest. And all of them are trying to catch Boaz's eye. You know the way they bend, I don't know how they harvest, the kind of lasso they wear, I don't know. I'm just saying. They're all trying to catch. Yeah.
But you've never seen men trying to catch their beer like, and then they bite their lip. And then, when they are talking, they are doing like this.
Doing like that.
Attack us with their own tactics.
Yes.
So women are bending.
The way they harvest, just in a way, all of them trying to catch Boaz's eye, And then here comes Ruth. Ruth is a widower from 10 years, she's her marriage ended after 10 years, And so she comes, fully clad, maybe even her hair is covered, not trying to catch this guy's attention. But her gentleness, her humility, she was following the guys who were harvesting at the very back. She's not trying to be in front, not trying to catch this guy. She's just there at the back, she's just there minding her own business, chilled, very humble, very gentle. This woman catches Boaz's eye. Boaz looks through all these other women and he sees her, And when she comes, Boaz calls her. And she comes, she falls at Boaz's feet. And Boaz is smitten, He's completely taken up, That is the effect of submission. Another example is this. Another woman called Abigail that my wife loves very much. So Abigail is married to a fool, a man called Nabal. So Nabal, he's a rich fool. That's what the Bible calls him. He's a rich fool. And so David, he's in the wilderness with his fighting men, and they are protecting Nabal's sheep. And so after a while, David sends his people to tells Nabal, I've been protecting your sheep, give me a gift. And Nabal says, I don't know who you are, you're just a random vagabond in the desert. And David becomes angry, and he says, I'm going to kill Nabal, And so Abigail, she's a very wise woman. And what she does, she takes the gifts, takes all of them, goes before David, and then she falls at David's feet, you know. And she says, David, I know I have married a fool, you know, but forgive him because he did not know what he was saying. And so take these gifts in lieu of what he had said, you know. And David was so smitten by this woman, you know. The Bible doesn't say that she was attractive, she was curvaceous, she had nice hair. Just by her humility and by her submission, David said, I'm going to marry this woman. And after the husband died, David went and he married her, you know. And so just as just to bring it back to my point of view as a man, is that the thing that a man cannot resist is a woman who is submissive. He cannot resist. In fact, he will tell her, what do you want? You know, I can even give you the world.
Hey.
You know, he can give her everything.
Yes.
That it is reverse psychology. You know, women think submission is weakness. You know, that I'm supposed to come, you know, and be as strong, show my strength. But you know, this strength, this boldness, this unajua mimi, you know, we can go it one-on-one. It is very unattractive to a man. You know, very unattractive to a man.
Hampendi kuambiwa hivi na hivi.
Yeah,
so when I'm fighting with you as my man, nianze kufanyia hivi na hivi.
Imagine,
that is too unattractive.
Yeah.
So unataka to fight aje, baby.
Here's the thing. So now women, the Bible says a wise woman. Women need wisdom, you know, because there are different ways to skin a cat, you know. You can skin a cat by taking it and then trying to remove the skin. It will kill you, you know. But you have to be wise in terms of how do you skin this cat? One, how do you get your husband to do what you want? Now, here's wisdom. Now you can learn. One of the things is that men, when a man sees a woman who humbles herself, who reduces herself, who submits under him, then the man, you know, feels, hey, by the way, this woman, I want to protect her. Because men, you know, we are protectors, you know. That instinct of a man, you know, that warrior instinct of a man comes up to protect his damsel in distress. You understand? You know? And it makes a man come out to protect her and to say, you know what, for me, I'm willing to give out even my own life for your sake. Because I feel that you are so gentle, you are so, you know, you are like a damsel in distress.
Yes.
That's a wise woman. Because a wise woman will know that, by the way, this is what goes into a man's heart. And men have a weakness. Every man on the globe have a weakness for a woman who is submissive. That is why, let me just end with a very bad story, but it's true.
Yes.
So a certain member of parliament, he was a former member of parliament, yeah? Yeah, and so this man, he had been married for a number of years, you know, and he had accrued a lot of wealth, you know, and so this woman comes into his life, you know, a young woman, but she's a wise woman. Is it wise or scheming, you know? But she's wise in her own way, unlike the wife. So she comes, you know, she's submitting herself under this guy, telling him, you know, you're my daddy, you're my lord, you're my, you know. This daddy man feels, that one. This man feels, what? Man, I've never felt like this my whole life. So this man goes and transfers all the properties
to this woman,
to the woman's name. And so the wife goes to court and she's like, you know, my husband is under distress, he's been dragged. The husband saying, no, I'm normal. I have my thinking mind and I choose myself to transfer my property to this woman. Because the way this woman had submitted herself to him, maybe she was conniving or cunning. But every man, no matter how great they are, they have a weakness for submission. And that is God's plan, because God says, wives, submit yourself to your husbands, and husbands, love your wives, you know. And so God put in every man a desire, you know, a hunger for a woman who can submit herself under him. And so that is why for women, you can learn wisdom, you know. The Bible says the wise woman builds her own house, but the foolish woman
destroys
with her own hands. Yeah, you know, with her own hands. Like the wife of that woman. The wife of that politician. She destroyed her own house, imagine, because when this other woman came, who was wiser than her, came and submitted herself under him, then he gave all the property. So submission to women is simply power under control.
And that's maybe the power women have not mastered, according to you. Yes. That submission is power.
Power.
Hey, we saw what you said. When you say mlikuwa mnabai tu maji unamsikiza, we know. Now we get it. I get a food. Now I hear you, Gathoni.
Yes.
But you know, mumefanya courtship. You've decided this is the person I want to get into a relationship with. Mumefanya beautiful wedding, by the way. Mumefanya this beautiful wedding, considering your background, you know, both of you. And then you're here now telling us that the wedding was fine, Lynn, until we started living. Could you briefly walk us through what was the shocker?
Hey, shocker was the shocker, I think, for me was the first day we came from honeymoon and landed into the house. You know, I think, you know, when you're maybe from your mom, I was from my mom's house.
Yes.
And you know, at times you'll find things are prepared or you know, things are done. Somebody's there to do them for you. And then now you land to your own house and you're wondering, who is supposed to do this? I remember, I think the first day was when we came from, so we came in the evening, so we slept over in the morning. I'm like, we're supposed to wake up together and we make breakfast together. We have always been together.
Yes.
But now he's asleep and I need to wake up and
mpikie chai.
That one was a hard one. That one was hard.
Go to Apple. Actually, let me analyze the kind of wife I have.
That one shocked me. I was like, hiya. By the way, I'm the wife of this house. Things have to be done, and it is me supposed to do them. With time after conversation, you're like, but I cannot be waking up alone and making So even communicating is also important, so that you can express. You don't just die with your own problems. There's a way that I used to do my stuff, and there's a way that he used to do his stuff. Hey,
who was the socks person?
Now then, him is
he's a drawer.
No,
he's
not
tidy.
He's very tidy.
I
remember at times. So at times he would wake up early, I wake up late. And he could not understand, why have you not made the bed? Mi nimeamka, nimeruka kwa bafu. He was like, you've not made the bed. He was very tidy. Me, I am the
thrower.
The thrower.
Yes.
And so he had also to adjust, and so,
love is patient.
Yes, he's became patient.
She said something. You slept. She went to the kitchen to make you breakfast. And this is in context with something I read, that gender roles are seriously damaging marriages. Why did you sleep and expect her to go make that tea for you?
So now 10 years later, I'm a bit wiser than I was 10 years ago, you know, and that question of gender roles, Lynn, that has destroyed a lot of families, let me say it. So a lot of marriages have been destroyed by gender roles, by the fact that, you know, we come from a traditional African society, and growing up, Gathoni, there are things that she saw her dad do, and things that she saw her mom do. And even for me, I come from the same background, you know, but now all of you guys come into the same house, and all of you are carrying this invisible baggage, you know, or invisible expectation, you know, of the way I'm expected, how a man is supposed to behave in the home and how a woman is supposed to behave in the home. And that for us, for the first years, was chaotic, man. It was chaotic. Because how she has her own idea, you know, that a man is supposed to come home with meat. Me, we go to a butchery. The one who's near the butchery goes out and buys meat, you know. Yes. Me, that's how I know, you know. But for her, it was very important for a man has to come home with meat. Na nyama, at least na gazeti, but at least na nyama, you know. Because a man's role is to buy meat. But me was like, anybody can buy meat. In fact, you can even order it online, you know. There is nothing special about it. There's nothing, you know, nothing manliness about buying meat, you know. And but gender roles for us really played a very big part. But now, 10 years later, I'm wiser. I'm wiser in fact that now when I went, because we are students of the Bible, and we are trying to build a kingdom marriage. And one of the things that we realize is that the Bible doesn't have gender roles. Very interesting. There is no role that a man is supposed to do or a woman is supposed to do. But there are certain ascribed roles that the Bible gives us. One, it's in Ephesians 5. It says this: husbands and wives, submit yourselves to each other.
Yes.
And that was a point of conflict, because how am I supposed to be a man and submit myself to my wife? You know. But it says submit yourselves to each other. Then it goes on to explain how does a man submit, you know. And one of the things that I learned that is supposed to be my role in this marriage is for me to love my wife as Christ loved the church, you know, and to lay down my life every day for her. You know, that is submission. Because, you know, love, for me, I think love makes submission look easy. Because love is a very high calling, you know. Because, you know, loving means is that I'm not supposed to love Gathoni when it's very easy to love her now, you know, and she's all made up, you know, and she's all clean, yeah. But what happens when she has milk leaking? You know, what happens when the bedroom is full of used diapers? You know, what happens when we wake up in the morning and we can't face each other because of our breath, you know? Then love has to come into place. Then I have to love her unconditionally. And that is hard for men, you know. It's hard for men to love unconditionally. Because, you know, love, the way we've grown up, love is always ascribed to conditions. I will love you, I will only love you only if, you know. And now I have to love her selflessly. The Bible now goes to tell the woman's role is the woman must respect her husband, you know, and she must submit herself as unto the Lord. And so for me, looking back, is that if I had known these roles, because one, love is kind. Love means that if I wake up and my wife is going through her monthly period and she has cramps, then I can wake up and make breakfast. Yes. Because love is kind, you know. But, you know, the roles will be like, a man is not supposed to be in the kitchen, you know. Or when our baby wakes up at night, you know, and Gathoni, she has sleep deprivation, you know. And the diaper is wet. Who changes the diaper? You know. Who wakes up, you know. But if love thinks about the other person, I'll think about, you know, Gathoni has not slept for 3 days, you know.
How should I step in?
Yeah, how should I step in? It will not make me less of a man to change our baby's diaper, because, you know, we made the baby together. Yes. And I was very active, you know. Yeah, in that, you know. But then now it comes to the places whereby love becomes hard. Then I pull out the gender role card, you know. Mimi ni mwanaume. Unajua penye tumetoka hatufanyangi hivi. But then, you know, if you put the whole glasses, the love glasses on as a man, then you realize that you have to put your Africanness aside and you have to embrace kindness. You have to embrace patience. You have to embrace goodness. And you have to embrace putting yourself in your partner's shoes. That is why I say love is a higher calling for us men. You know, we are called higher. Even though our wife is made to submit to a man, if we can really embrace God's plan of marriage, then we are called to be higher. We are called to love as Christ did the church. Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
It's a period of learning,
Yes.
relearning,
Yeah.
and unlearning,
And
you know.
unlearning, yeah.
I love this. Ni sawa, tumeanza kuishi vizuri kwa nyumba. Kids are gonna come. But before that, because I don't want to deny our audience an opportunity to talk about intimacy. Intimacy ni tamu. Intimacy, by the way, can be defined in different aspects, right? It has a lot of elements. But let's talk about sex before the kids came. Pretty much sure that was beautiful.
Yes, it was. We did not struggle with sex at that particular point.
Yeah, we did.
And we had lots of it. We enjoyed. We were just the two of us. Enjoying life. Until now. The kids came. Marriage has it's like a gear. There are some things that once it's put nicely, the other one will run like easily. So everybody was benefiting. Let's say, everybody was getting fulfilled with, because his needs are met, my needs are also met. And at that particular point, things were working very smoothly. I thought that children are a bad thing. Children, they come and make you grow up a little bit more.
They bring you joy.
Yeah, they bring you joy, and you get to know a different side of you that you did not know existed. Yeah, but we enjoyed our sex life before the kids.
Kabisa. A lot. And the reason is because I also, as I said, I caught you and you said when kids come, your sex life is never the same. So you are coming from this period where your sex life is very beautiful. And then when kids come, you realize it's not the same. What changes?
So I think one of the things that we really enjoyed was, one of the things that, you know, us men are very visual. And for me, we had a rule that when you enter our house, you're not supposed to have clothes. You know, you drop the clothes at the door, you know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you know, it was that good, you know. Just use an apron to cook because of safety. Yeah, but but it was amazing, you know. It was so amazing, you know. We really explored all avenues, you know. And then Gathoni got pregnant. So one of the things that Gathoni happened during her pregnancy is that, you know, there's a way that some women, mtoto wanapenda, the baby loves sex, the other babies don't love sex, you know. The babies love their husbands, sometimes they love other men. I don't even know, it's complicated. But for our case, we thank the Lord that Gathoni, when she got pregnant, she got a double dose of libido.
Wait, what?
Yes.
That's a thing.
Yes, imagine, it's a thing, It's a thing, that's why we have 4. Anyway, story for another day. Story for another day, but but it was
okay.
It was very good. It became even better now when she was pregnant. And now once the baby is born, then the gyna tells you that you have to wait for 6 weeks. Before attempting coitus again, you know, because now she has to heal and all that. And that was hard because now for me, I'd been used to getting it every day or every other day. And then now we have to wait for 6 weeks. I was like, no, you're not serious. I was like, tutadu, unajua, what do we do? Do I join a mjengo, you know, burn this sex energy off?
They're frustrated.
Yeah, it's very frustration, you know. And then now, but interestingly, is that I think the doctors know because when the baby comes, you have no time to think about sex, you know, because it is just chaotic. And our firstborn daughter, she got colic, you know, she got colic, she got gas, as in she was not sleeping, she was crying throughout, you know, we didn't know what to do. Sometimes we take even drives, you know, just to make her keep quiet, you know, put her in the car and we drive off, you know. So we had no time to think about sex, thank God, you know. And the 6 weeks came and when the appointment came and told, now you guys have got a clean bill of health, now you guys can go and have sex. Then we realized something has changed. You know, it's not the same way we were before. Now Gathoni is so tired, you know, she's sleep deprived. You know, now me, because of staying... hajiski.
Gathoni ulikuwa unajisikia?
Hapana.
Because I've seen women saying, wajisikiangi after.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, you call on God. You're like, it's me and you here.
It was hard. It was hard.
It was.
Yeah. She just didn't, when I say Lynn, it's true. Her sex drive just went. And I think it was a number of factors that I came to understand. One is that she's breastfeeding a little one all day, you know. Every day she's just being touched the whole day, you know. So she's not looking forward to being touched by another man, you know, at night, you know. And so at night she wants to come and sleep. And then now our babies had a very interesting schedule, you know, that you put them to sleep on Allah vizuri. Then the moment you guys just start like this, you just hear a scream from the baby cot. You're like, see, I go take it over. I go take 2 minutes, please. That's all I'm asking for. Man, you are like, these people, are they sent by the devil? You know, have they been? I don't know. It was just,
That's what is there like,
everything just changed now. The no clothes policy ended. officially just ended. You know, the us sleeping naked ended. You know, because now she has to wear a bra, you know, and a t-shirt.
Yes,
you
the
know,
milk.
the milk and everything. Yeah, and it was everything just became complicated. Yeah, let me say that I'll advise couples that before you think about getting children, at least take at least 2 years, you know, and thoroughly enjoy sex, because the next time you'll enjoy them is when they have left. Anyways. So enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. Have it every day. Have it every day. But then now I began to realize now that the way we had said that was automatic. That was organic. Now we have to start building intentional sex, which now it felt fake. You know, it felt like we are scheduling sex. You know, how do you schedule sex?
I'll come to that intentional, scheduling.
Yes.
But let me put a pause, because I want to get in your era, you know, the kid is here, your body is changing. Were you ever scared that he's not seeing you as pretty, as sexy? Like you would not, were you scared you would not be able to turn him on?
Yes, it's always a scare after every birth. Yes, because your body is changing. Your body changes after every birth. And it takes a while before I accept even my own body the way it is. Even me just standing on the mirror to just look at myself, I'm like, hey, my God, who is this? Who is this?
God.
Yes, but one thing I thank God for is Ben has always reaffirmed me that I am good. I am fine the way I am. If we need to do exercise, we'll do together. He will, but he's never pushed me to a level of making me feel that I am not pretty. I'm not turning him on. Yes. He's always encouraging me that I am okay. You're fine. It will after, and I thank God. Once I do my breastfeeding period, my body bounces back to how it is. So he assures me it's just a process. We'll be back to where you are.
And the affirmation really helped.
It helps a lot. It helps a lot because at times you don't feel it yourself, but if somebody else tells you, it can go along.
I love that. But then in the same breath, you are talking about sexual frustration. Nifanye nini. It's in the same timeline that you will see people will get tempted. People will start having affairs. People will satisfy themselves in the way they know how. Did that ever happen to you? And what did you do with that sexual frustration as a man?
Wow. So one of the things that, just to pick up from where Gathoni said, is that you asked a very important question. And I think a lot of women, why sex changes so drastically is because now that she was so confident in her body, now that because of motherhood and childbirth, the body of a woman changes. And for me, I kept on telling her, you know what? Now your body after childbirth becomes even sweeter. Yeah, it becomes even better. You become even more attractive to me. Let me say that. Because for me, I think every stretch mark, every cellulite, you know, every curve and fold is like a sign of, it's like a hero sign that you've gone through birthing a whole human being, you know. And so for me, I really enjoyed her body after birth. I think even more than the way she was before. Yeah, is that she matured now. Unajua, now her body became softer to touch. You know, her body became, she was more warm. You know, and I really enjoyed her. You know, and so the only problem was that she didn't feel like having sex, even though she was so sexy.
Yeah, but
sexy was in my head. Yeah,
but she doesn't feel that's inaweza confuse mtu. Unaona tu huu ni mtu hapa. I want. Lakini
ajiski. She was not feeling that vibe. She was not feeling it. And me was like, man, I just want to make love to my wife. And so one of the things that we really had a conversation on at that time is that even though she doesn't feel like having sex, what can we do about me? You know, because me, I'm lying by her side, and, you know, and me, I want to have sex, and her, she doesn't feel like having sex, you know. And one of the things that used to make me very angry was like, sinikusaidia basi, I love to lale, you know. And I was like, I'm not, for me, my satisfaction is from when she gets satisfied. I don't feel like being helped by myself. In this idea, me, I'm like, tulale basi,
Guys, if you
Takufa
missed it,
kimwanaume.
you missed it. I really kufa
Yeah. Because for me, I realized that I got the most pleasure from her pleasure.
Not from her.
Yeah, not just for me,
Yes.
getting, I got most pleasure
From her
pleasure. That when she experienced an orgasm or when she enjoyed it,
You feel
man, that was like heaven to me, And I was feeling like she was denying me that pleasure, She was denying me the pleasure of her enjoying herself, Because for me, I knew now, later on I knew with wisdom is that God made sex between a husband and wife to be mutually satisfactory.
Yes.
That both of you have to mutually enjoy. Sex is not made for the husband. That's the way a lot of you young women grew up, knowing that now, give your husband sex, A husband has 2 stomachs, food and sex, reducing us to animals. Anyway, that's a story of another day.
2 stomachs?
Yeah.
Not 2 heads?
No,
2 stomachs.
2 stomachs.
And they are both next to each other. Anyway, so sex was reduced to that it's a husband's thing.
Yes.
And for me, I realized that I get no pleasure from just me getting on and then Gathoni not enjoying it. And so we really had those conversations. Those were very hard conversations, especially, talking about sex. Sex is it's easier to have sex than talk about sex. Let me say it that way. It's very hard to have that conversation of sasa things are not working.
What do we do?
Yeah, And then I began to realize that Gathoni doesn't really need sex, Then I began finding out that now she needs intimacy, which I think we'll talk as we go on.
Yes.
But then that now began becoming very clear because, Tambos think that it's automatic, we both love sex, and we both get satisfied by it. But then now it changed now. I realized that now sex doesn't really satisfy her now anymore. Now she needs something different. And now for me, I had no clue whatsoever, what intimacy was. I had no, I had no clue. It was like learning a new language, a new language from her. And now for me, I was like, so why are we changing? She's like, no, I've always been this way. You've always been giving me intimacy, but I was like, but I never knew. She's like, yeah, you never knew because it was automatic. And I want us to go back there. And I'm like, how?
Where?
Because everything has changed. We can't go back there, We can't go back to the area whereby you were sitting at Aga Khan Walk. No, now we have to think about buying a plot. We have to think about building. We have to think about umtoto, and the injections are very expensive. We have to think about all those things. Now I'm no longer that guy who was carefree, that I can think about you the whole day. There are other things to do, man. Grow up. So to say, yeah, for me, I felt intimacy was, it's childlike, childlike. Now you're a wife, make the switch, now we have bills to pay. Now but she's still a little girl inside. And that's what she needed. And I couldn't figure out how to give her that.
Yes. We'll come to intimacy, but I don't want to skip something you were talking about when you said scheduling and so mkaanza kuschedule sex.
Oh yeah. It was easier that way. It was for even for me to prepare myself from the morning that in the evening it's going to go down.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so if I have to delegate duties in the house, let me delegate. Yeah, so that I don't pull the card yet. I am tired. Yes, and I have to keep my promise. I really have to. And it helped. It helped, and the interesting thing is, once it is done, you're like, but then even me I needed it. You're like. Even me, I also needed, and now slowly by slowly now
it starts coming back.
Exactly. So it stops now being after the scheduling part worked perfectly for us because now after that you're like, by the way, I enjoyed it. Let's do it again. You schedule another one. You schedule another one. Exactly.
Yes.
So basically go back to the groove that we
used to have.
Yes,
but he's also saying it's not the sex, Ben. It's intimacy.
Yes.
It's our conversation at Aga Khan walk. It's this. It's me looking at you talk. Who's in wisdom, and you have no idea what she's talking about.
Yes.
How did you figure it out? And in the same breath, why is it that we confuse sex with intimacy?
Intimacy. For me, I think it's because most of those sex books were written by men. I think let me start there, you know. And we were trying to explain intimacy through sexual eyes, you know, through my own need, you know, through what I need. I tried to explain what my wife or what a woman needs. But then, you know, that was the wrong way. That is why I think every sex book must be written by a man and by a woman. If it's a good, if it's a genuine sex book, combined,
yeah.
so that a woman can give her perspective and a man can give her perspective. Because one thing I realized that I'm not married to a man, you know, and she has a different sets of need, you know, and for me, I had to learn it because Gathoni kept on telling me, Ben, you know, I feel like, what do you keep on saying? I feel like you're forced. I feel like you do not. I feel like you're forcing this thing.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. I feel like you do not. I feel like you're trying too hard. And I was like, feelings. Ismam a feeling. So now, how do you control feeling? What's a feeling? You know, how do you quantify? You know, for me, I want statistics. You know,
Yes.
For me, I want facts and figures. You know, but now if you say, I'm not feeling loved, that's a hard word for a man to interpret. You know,
Yeah.
What do you mean by you're not feeling loved? What can I do to make you, you know, write for me a list? You know, that's what I kept on thinking. Write for me a list. You know, no, a list will make you do stuff that feels fake, you know. I want it to come from the heart. Now, Sasa, you're complicated. Yeah, tell me what you want, I will do it. You know, if you want flowers on Wednesday, I'll be buying flowers on Wednesday.
You know, stop telling
I
me
want
what
that.
you want, then tell me it will make it look fake.
Yeah.
Hey,
It was very, very hard for me to understand. My mind couldn't understand it. My mind couldn't figure. And then kept telling me, Ben, when we were dating, and I hated that word. Because I kept on being, you're supposed to forget, you know. Forget, you know. Yeah, but now, keep on saying, when we were dating, you used to do it. And I'm like, how? I can't remember because it was not intentional. It was organic. It was automatic. It was the same way I kept on telling her that, you know, the same way you buy a new car, you know, and you even sleep next to it, you know, and every time you enter it, you're like, wow, man, thank you, God, you know. Yes. But 3 months later, you don't even notice the car.
No, you don't.
You know,
you
just
don't.
come in and you drive,
Unaingia.
you know, yeah. Now, the miracle of the newness disappears. And I realized that that's what happened in our marriage, that the new car began to get ordinary, you know, and began to get obvious. Familiar. Exactly. Yes. The spirit of familiarity. And now that you're telling me that, Ben, I still crave your intimacy. I still crave that. And I still crave the fact that I want to crave that spontaneity, you know. I want me, actually, it kept on telling me, Ben, I want me to feel that you're thinking about me the whole day.
Oh my God.
Man, now I'm thinking about photography. I'm thinking about, you know, I'm thinking about money. I'm thinking about school fees, you know. You know, I'm thinking about a plot. I'm thinking about building a... Now, where can... You know? My brain is full. There's no space for that, you know. Because, you know, now we have grown up. Now we are grown-ups. Now we are doing grown-up things. You know, responsibilities, you know.
We are doing grown-up things.
Yeah, grown-up things, you know. You know, these things, therefore, leave them for the juveniles, for the child, you know, for the people who are still growing in love. Now we are actually building a home. They kept telling me, Ben, you know what? I still crave it, you know. That is even more important to me than sex. That to me is as important to you as sex. You know, for you, sex begins when you close the door of the bedroom, you know, in between the sheets. How she wanted outside the bedroom door, you know. How do I feel? How do you make me feel the whole day? I was like, Gathoni, it's unfair because, you know, me, I have to perform for 24 hours. Me, I just need 5 minutes. 5 minutes to imagine for my day. That's all I need. I don't need, you know, prepare to 5 minutes, you know, prepare to. She's like, no, this 5 minutes is dependent for the 24 hours.
What have you done?
Like, this is unfair for us men, you know. It's unfair. How? Why? It's supposed to be, you know, you get your part, me, I get my part. It's supposed to be automatic, but she's like, you know what, for me, to be able to enjoy how you want me to enjoy, make me feel good the rest of the day. And that was hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kumbe it's a universal thing
It's a universal.
for women. That someone gotta make you, someone has to want you before the love making itself.
Yeah.
Someone has to really text you, I miss you,
Yeah.
you know,
How are you doing?
which ice cream can I bring?
Yeah.
Hii kitu itawasaidia.
True,
Hii kitu
true.
inaenda kuwasaidia.
Inaenda kusaidia.
You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
and maybe she's even me.
Yeah.
Ai mi ile ya kukuja tu and then I'll be like acha nikusaidie basi.
Yes, true.
And let me help you.
And then
But
let
me, I
you-
won't feel anything.
You won't feel it,
Exactly.
yeah.
Me, I won't
Yeah.
feel anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
ile ya the whole day.
Yeah, the
Mtu
whole day.
amekupeleka maraundi.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
true.
yeah, it's true.
So now you started figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yes. What I used to do, to bring the dating card,
Yes.
is for him to try and remember what he used to do. So, but now we realize, by the way, Mr. Man is not, he's not getting it. He's not getting it at all. So, and you know, in his mind, he thought it was the big things that matter. Like, let's plan for a holiday in December, wherever. But I kept telling him, it's the small things you do. The tiny things, just even if you just popped, when I'm telling you come with milk and bread in the evening, just get me a lollipop.
There.
Do not, just to show that when I was even buying that bread,
I
was
thought about you and I added some lollipop.
I know. It's those small things.
Yeah.
You come, maybe even if I'm from work or something like that, I come home, sit me down, ask me, how's your day been?
Ama pate umeshuka nywele na hata haja recognize ako tu hapo. Babe, tunakula. Hey, please, my hair is dark. So you just say something fast about my hair.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's the small thing. It's not something outrageous that, just recognize, just note those small things. Just do those tiny little things. They'll help you along the way.
Yes. You
Yeah.
know women, by the way, they like that. Okay, me and Gathoni. You just want the small things. in life.
Exactly.
Yes,
Someone was going around there, whatever, they picked something for you.
Yeah.
Anatoanisha, oh babe, I got you this. Hey, you are like, man, this man
Yeah.
has been thinking
About
about
you
you
a
the
whole day.
Yes,
It's
exactly
that simple.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
it is,
know?
it is.
What else did you guys have to work on?
So one of the things that also, as you guys are talking, as you girls are talking,
Okay.
what popped into my mind
Yeah.
was that I realized, interestingly, is that sex for a woman and intimacy for a man are products of the mind. That the mind is the biggest sex organ and is the biggest intimacy organ. For Gathoni, she needed to engage her mind when we were making love. The moment her mind drifted, because women's minds ziko na vitu mingi, thinking about nani wamelia, nani anachapana huko nje,
Kesho tunakula.
yeah, she loses the nini, as in she loses it. Now I have to begin from scratch, and I have to begin working like anyway, climbing a mountain again, and so yeah, and so for Gathoni, it became a battle of the mind, because a woman's mind is all connected. Everything is connected to each other. And for her to be able to enjoy sex with me, she needed to focus her mind completely. And that was a lot of work for her, to focus her mind completely on what we were doing. While I, on the other hand, I realized that intimacy for me was about the mind. The battle was in my mind, because the day of a man is filled with so many things. And unfortunately, like us, women can squeeze in sex, think about,
We are multitaskers.
yeah, what are we eating for supper? And now can I buy lingerie for the sex tonight? That can be simultaneously being processed the same mind together. While a man is thinking about, I'm going to have a meeting with a client. And he forgets that he has a wife, Then he sees his phone, he's like, I'm married. Oh, wow. I've just remembered I'm married, For
real?
Yeah. For
You
a man.
forget you have a wife?
Yeah. Because, and for me, I think God made it that way, because that's why I think men excel. Because men have the ability to focus their mind on one thing. But one of the things that I realized is that when we were dating, Gathoni was all over my mind, you know. She ran through my mind all day.
Yes.
And yet in the marketplace, I was killing it. You know, when you're talking about it, I was succeeding, man. I was just getting unmerited favor everywhere I went, you know. And now God was telling me, Ben, you know what? That's how it is. Now that you're married, now it has to be intentional. Now you have to put Gathoni in your mind intentionally. That means you have to battle with all these other things, you know. Remove them from your mind and put Gathoni there. And that was hard for me because it was hard for me to be able to build that. But the good thing is that it's like a muscle, you know. The more you work it, the stronger it becomes. And then I realized that, you know, now it's becoming easier. It starts from intentionality, you know, like it's false, like it's inorganic, like it's faked. But then it's like you fake it until you make it.
Yes.
And finally, it begins to become natural. And I told Gathoni this week, I told her, the moment I know I've mastered intimacy is when I begin to dream about you.
Oh.
Because now it's my subconscious mind. Now it's my unconscious mind. Now it's not by my thinking. Now I'm not doing it by my I'm beginning to do it. Now when I think, my mind, my subconscious mind takes gear.
It's already
Yeah. And now I begin to dream about her. You know, now when I wake up in the morning, I have a smile on my face.
Good.
Because I've just been thinking about not the project or the deal or the contract. Now I've been thinking about my wife. And for me, it was like, hey, God, the moment I'm getting there, the baby steps, I'm like, now at least I'm beginning to understand what intimacy is. Now at least I can begin to, now as I'm thinking about her, I'm thinking about, you know what? Gathoni is a chicken farmer. And she likes me going to help her give the chicken food.
Yes.
That's intimacy for her. It's very unsexy, but anyway, it's intimacy, yeah, you know? And so now, so now I see her when she goes to take those maungas and the water. Now I'm like, hey, let me go and help her. But before, I never even used to notice that.
Yes.
You know? Now they're talking about those small things. Now I begin to notice them. Now I begin to realize, wow, you know, like a child can be doing homework with 4 kids, you know. Now I feel like, hey, let me take 2 and help her with it, you know. Now I feel that, wow, you know, if she's going to prepare for me a meal in the kitchen, let me go and stay there with her. Because not
Keep her company.
yeah, it's not about me helping, it's about just me being there.
Unajua
You
nyi
know,
ufanyaje?
story too.
Nyi kuja tu hapo.
Yeah.
Bora uko hapo.
Yeah.
Bora uko hapo.
Bora
Then
tuko
unaenda
hapo.
kwa watu. Bora uko hapo.
Bora tuko hapo.
Please do whatever you want to do with your phone. Bora uko
Bora uko
hapo.
hapo,
Don't be in the other room. Just
Yes.
come and sit there.
And sit there with
Nipigishe
me.
story kidogo.
Yeah.
Then uende kwa simu ya.
Yeah.
But bora. So you get to you start picking such
I
things.
start picking, yeah, my mind now begins to notice things that before they just skimmed past me, you know, because that's, you know the same way that if you want to buy a Toyota Prado today, yeah, from tomorrow you'll be seeing them all over the road.
Yes.
You'll be like, where were all these cars?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
they begin to notice them. I
Yes.
think that's how intimacy is for a man. That the moment you begin to intentionally put her in your mind, then you begin to notice now those small details. Then you begin to notice that now there are places whereby there were pain points. Can I be able to help her? Now you begin now to actually notice her.
Notice her. And then you as a woman, you start feeling good.
Exactly.
You start feeling, kumbe, I'm still his number one. You start, because I just feel like women just want attention and to be prioritized.
Exactly.
Wantaka to your attention,
Yeah.
then nionyeshe me I'm your I'm your,
priority.
but you made a statement and you said 50% of marriages are, a lot of marriages are failing in church, than in culture.
Yeah.
What does that mean? That's actually really sad to hear.
We were having this conversation a while back,
Yeah.
and we, one is what we are brought up being told, especially for girls, like sex is bad. Growing up, you are told sex is bad,
Very.
and then now you get to this you get married, and that mentality has to change on your wedding night, and you're wondering, by the way, how is this supposed to work? So even when you get married, even long after you're married, you still have that mindset of, by the way, I was told. Exactly. So you go a long way feeling, I'm sinning. I'm still sinning. Even if I'm married, you still feel like you're sinning. But I think it's how you are brought up being told sex. So even if you want to indulge in it, you still feel like you are sinning. You're still sinning. and now brings now the whole conversation of women not liking sex, whatever, because now of how you were brought up as girls. The other thing was
Of a spiritualization of I preach.
Yeah, as in putting your let's say, is it religion and religion?
It's actually of a religionization.
Exactly, over your marriage. And thinking that these things don't really matter. It is what matters is your religion, whatever.
Picture perfect.
Exactly. And now you miss out on those small things. You miss out on the intimacy. You miss out on the sex. You're having just a marriage setup that you are like roommates.
Missionary.
You're like roommates in your...
But they're talking for other position, you feel like you are sinning.
Yes, exactly.
See me, I'm telling you how women feel. Not me and Gathoni. You feel like you are sinning.
Exactly. The other thing also is how submission was taught to us. Yeah. And you are all like no, Ben had said something about, you are told that men needs they have two, as we are told, two stomachs. They have two stomachs, and they both have to be filled. So you feel like so if I do not want and he wants, I have to submit to give. So it feels like I'm going to marriage to become like a slave. Yeah. So we also being brought up with that notion of submission is equal to needed to slavery. Also brings that your mvutano, like in marriage. And and I think especially those three things, I think they have played one of
Do you feel like the church talks enough about intimacy though?
No, it talks more about sex. It does not talk more about intimacy. Even that sex is it's not even that sex is still.
It's a by the way.
It's like 3 days to the wedding.
Guy, unakujiwa, unambua yes.
Exactly.
Stomach.
Yes, stomach. It's 3 days to the wedding. Some churches have done quite well because there's the premarital counseling which is just even maybe one class that you'll have to go through, so that you are taught about sex and intimacy. But I think the churches have to do a lot of work to talk about sex and intimacy and the role they play in a marriage. Yes.
Ben, what do you think? What do you want to add?
That's so amazing. One of the things, especially about religion, I think people confuse Christianity with religion, and it isn't because Jesus Christ, who's our role model, was killed by religious leaders. They're the ones who killed him. He wasn't killed by the world. He was killed by religious leaders. And so to say, now, one of the books that Gathoni and I have come to love is called The Song of Songs. Now, The Song of Songs is a book about sex and intimacy. Maybe it's the only book in the Bible about one topic. There's no book about prayer, about fasting, about praise. But there's a Song of Songs. Now, here's the interesting thing that we found out with Gathoni. Now, Song of Songs, the title means, like the way they say the King of Kings.
Yes. Yeah.
It means the greatest of all kings. Even those put together, he's still greater. Now, in the Bible, God saw it fit to put a book about sex and intimacy. And he called it the Song of Songs. The greatest song ever. But in the Bible, there are songs that praise God. Imagine that. All the songs in the Bible are about praising God. Yeah. But there's a certain song
of songs
between a man and a woman that is greater than even the songs that are there
of
to praise God.
Oh, that's profound.
That shows how much importance God has put about sex and intimacy between a husband and a wife.
Hey.
It is that important to God. In fact, God says this, that a relationship between a husband and wife is a mirror or is an earthly representation of a relationship between Christ and the church. That my marriage with Gathoni is supposed to reflect what it's going to look like in heaven. Because in heaven there is no marriage. There's no marriage in heaven. Marriage is for here on earth.
Malizeni hapa chini.
Yeah. But when we go to heaven, we're going, yeah. But we are going to a wedding.
Yes.
We are going to a marriage supper of the Lamb. That's why he calls us his bride. That's why marriage, it is very important. That's why, for me, I find that those people who put God before their marriage, then they are missing it, you know. That for me, I'd rather go and serve God, you know, and then leave my wife at home.
Ujasema na ile attitude inasema sana attitude. Sama sana attitude. For me.
Yeah.
I say na ka masculinity fulani.
Yeah. So you're more, so God is more important than you.
Yes.
You know, and for me, I'd rather go and serve God than, you know, than for me to come and stay home with you, you know. And Gathoni keeps on telling me that, Ben, if me and you are not okay, I'm not going to church. Yeah. What am I going to church for? Imagine. Because if this relationship is not good, what about this one? You know? And God cares more about this relationship than even this one. Because this relationship, it becomes a mirror, a source of evangelism. So that the world that doesn't believe can see us. And they can see how Christ loved the church. You know? That's why marriage, and especially sex and intimacy, is of such importance in marriage. That a whole book in the Bible was made just for that. You know, that's why if I see people who are religious, you know, shying away from this topic, God put it in the Bible. In fact, he put a whole book about it. So that now you will not say that, you know what, you know, prayer is more important, you know, apana. That's why you see so many marriages in church are failing. Yeah. Because they're not prioritizing sex and intimacy. They are not. You know, you come and ask them, when did you guys last make love? I can't even remember. You calendar iko, you know, 2 or 3 years ago. Why? Because I'm busy serving God. You know, I am busy serving God. But God is more interested in relationship between a husband and his wife. Because this is the only mirror that the world can see. Because you cannot see God, you know. And marriage is just for here on earth. In heaven, there's no marriage. So if you're waiting for even the singles, this is a prayer point, you know. Go and tell God, God, in heaven there's no marriage. So God, let me get marriage here on earth. You know? God, please, you know, here on earth. Because in heaven we will not get to. And then again, the relationship that you get to enjoy together. This is so beautiful because, one, it makes you better. It makes you holier, you know. And that's why a marriage between a husband and wife, man, Lynn, if there's anything more important to talk about this. Because, you know, we talk about business, we talk about real estate, we talk about insurance, but all those are just side shows. If this marriage is not doing well, then you're finished. But if this does well, the foundation, as you've said, if this goes well, then you'll have wonderful children. You know, you'll succeed in the world. Let me just end by this.
It's okay.
It says this, that a woman to a man, you know what I was telling yesterday, a woman to a man is a source of two things. A woman is a source of wealth and a source of wisdom. Yeah. What a woman carries
is wealth.
A woman carries wealth for a man
wisdom.
and carries wisdom. That's why the Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. In fact, it goes on and says that who can find an excellent wife? Who can find a virtuous wife? For her value is more than what? More than rubies. That the wealth that a woman carries is so much that you can't compare it to rubies. I was telling Gathoni yesterday, I've never seen a rubies. In my 41 years on earth, it is that rare and that expensive. I've never seen a true ruby for my whole life, imagine. Now imagine Gathoni is worth much, much more than rubies. That is wealth. What about wisdom? That a man, he is a thing now, that was done by a guy called Napoleon Hill. He said this, that when the mind of a man like me, is influenced by sex desire, love, and romance, the three-stranded cord, when these three are mixed together in the mind of a man, that man becomes a genius. That man is able to access information that is not available to other people, because he's able to become a direct link between God's mind, infinite mind, and the human mind. That is the power of a woman. That's what a woman carries, imagine. And that is the purpose of marriage. And so when us here, so us here, we should not take this thing lightly, you know, that marriage is just, you know, any other thing, you know, any other partnership that you can go into. Marriage is everything.
It's a foundation.
It is a foundation.
I love that.
Yeah.
But that's really profound. But you also talk to singles.
Yes,
Sasa
singles,
singles wamefanya nini? Singles have been. Singles want to chill. Some want to sprinkle.
Yeah.
Others want to drizzle.
Yes,
What
yes.
is wrong?
Yeah,
You see
yeah.
Wakabi is smiling there.
Yes. So singles, so we realized, so we began a singles ministry about a month ago. You know, God just called us to it. Yeah, we just said yes. So about a month ago, we realized that God called us, and we realized why God called us. It's because there's a problem. In fact, it is a catastrophe, not even a problem. Problem is what is undermining it. Yeah,
Manageable.
there's a catastrophe. There's a catastrophe, in fact, that a lot of women that we have met, a lot of single women, starting mostly from the age of 30, 40, 50 plus, they are all ready, and willing to settle down. In fact, they are willing to do anything it takes. They're telling me, Ben, you know what? For me, I'm willing to do anything it takes, Now, on the other hand, now that's where there's a crisis, so to say. Because on the other hand now, the young men, who are single are not interested in getting married. In fact, they avoid it as if it is, like the way you're told, pale kuna COVID. Your room kuna COVID. That's how men avoid anything to do with relationships, marriage, and long-term, anything long-term.
Commitment.
Yeah. They are commitment averse. And I began realizing that this was so bad that we had a singles event last Saturday. Yeah. And we had about 350 women and about 10 men. Yeah. Who found themselves there by mistake. Hey, wow. Hey, Ben, tunadu nini hapa, And and we're like, what? Man, and God was telling me, Ben, this imagine single women who are willing.
Single women.
Imagine who are like, as we are here to, And
so the ratio is 1:35.
1:35. It's even worse than 1. I thought it was 1:7. But now it's much worse than that. That men are not willing to settle down. And I think it's because of, what do you think, Lynn? I think God even has given you that burden. Because a lot of narrative, especially for the young men, there's been a false doctrine that is beginning to spread. And there are some boy-child president spokesmen who've come up to speak for the men, And the men have followed these people religiously, taking in their false doctrine, that it is, especially the word simping. You know that word?
Yes.
Simping. Simping say that, a true man, should not bow before a woman by loving her. That a true man is a man, unajua, cast strong, unajua. Women are the enemy, And these people have made a lot of money from it, And the problem is that a lot of these young men now are beginning to believe it. And it scared me because for me, I thought that it wasn't effective. I was like, men are, it's just a small society. But in fact, it is so big and it is growing each and every day that the men now are like, you know what, take care of yourself. Put yourself first. Unajua, I'm a dame. In fact, there's a narrative that is sold that now, get the money, then you'll get the women. Not the woman, the women. That now the whole idea is that you're chilling in a club, like the way you're chilling in a club, bottles with girls on this side, they can't even fit, some even on the arm, That's every man's, so to say,
then you are there, the
dream.
man's
Yeah,
like,
chilling, chilling, relaxing there,
like this.
Yeah. Some are massaging your shoulders, That's the narrative that has been sold. And a lot of men have
bought it,
believed it, hook, line, and sinker. And so for me, I think one of the things that came out of that is that a lot of young women are like, Ben, you know what? Call the men together. Tell them about God's plan. Let them know that everything that they're looking for in the world, they'll find it in a woman. Let them know the value of a woman. Let them know how beautiful marriage is. Let them not believe these people who come, and then you can ask, where is the evidence in their life? Do they have wealth? Do they have wisdom? They have none of that. In fact, let me just give this 4 examples of these 4 men who are a lot of idols for the men. In soccer, It is who and who? It
Messi
is Ronaldo
na Cristiano.
and Cristiano and Messi, these two men.
Messi.
In basketball, there is
LeBron
James
na
and
Kobe. But now you have
Steph Curry and Steph Curry. These four men. These four men are what I can call the idols of men. Idols of men. And these four men, what I can say about their life, it's two things. One, subdue. They have subdued all competition. Basketball and soccer are the most competitive games or fields that are there available to man. They have been able to subdue competition. And number two, they've been able to dominate for over 20 years. These four men have been at the top of those two very competitive fields of industry. Now ask yourself, why? Why? The answer is go and look at the Instagrams of their wives. Don't look at the Instagrams are full of basketball. Look at the Instagram and look at the way those two treat each other. They can be called the biggest simps, if there was a word like that, on earth.
Kwanza Steph Curry.
Yeah, Steph Curry. These people, ni kama wamekaliwa chapati, unajua? Ni kama they have been bewitched, you know? If you look at them, the way they are with their wives. But interestingly, they are the top of the industry.
Wow.
For 20 years. That's not luck. That's not kubahatisha.
That's not luck.
That's not luck. That is a principle in motion. And a lot of the young men who are single should learn from those examples. Because those guys are your idols, then learn from them. How do they do it? For you to become where they are, do what they did, you know. They married young and they remained faithful to their wives. None of these men, any woman can come and bring any allegation against them. Yet they are good looking. Women throw themselves at them. And yet they have loved their wives openly. Not even like some like some tribe of men, you know. They can't even walk in public together. They have to have some distance between them.
LeBron is always proud.
These people, they walk with their wives. They talk about their wives openly. They kiss their wives, you know. And these men can become a lesson for us to learn. That for the young men who are watching this, realize that is the purpose of a woman. She comes to you as a partner, you know. And together, you know, hand in hand together, you will subdue and you will dominate. Whatever industry you are, even football and basketball that are so competitive, you will subdue, and that is God's plan for marriage.
Not luck.
Yeah, not luck.
I need to process that. Because I think that's the first time I'm hearing it said that way.
Yeah.
Because if you have a room full of 350 single women and only 10 men, do you think maybe the women have done something also? Do you think women need to work on something? Because if we are going to talk about why we have 10 men in that room, why do we have 350 women in that room?
Yeah.
Why do you think we have 350 single women in that room? If we were to take the man out of the picture, is there a role women have played to be so many and single in such a room?
Yes.
I think
I'm just honestly just asking.
When the Bible talks about a woman submitting, it's because of the power that she carries.
Yeah.
And when it is not you do not submit, it automatically comes out. That's why we have women who are they are called feminists, but they are not. It's because it's something that they carry with them.
Alpha females.
Yes, they will love on themselves. They are powerful women.
Yeah.
Let me talk of them. Let me call them powerful women. And now that is now what now becomes. It becomes unattractive to the men, and the men are looking for somebody who is gentle and quiet spirit. Now this woman amejijenga, yako sawa, yako ako poa. But if that woman, I was saying another time, if that woman is loved and loved well, that power that she carries, she will easily submit.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's just that it is something that she carries within her. And that's why we are told, the Bible instructs a woman to submit.
Because the power is too...
It's very much.
It's very much.
Too much.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that also.
Yeah.
So tuseme tu hao watu 350 walikuwa tu innocent.
Yeah. I'll not say innocent. I will say like what Gathoni has said is that I think even for the women, it's about even introspection, to look at yourself and mostly to ask God to work at your heart. Because, you know, like my single friend, the man, as I asked him, why are you still single? He told me that, Ben, you know, girls are very many in Nairobi, but wives are very rare, you know, and finding a wife is hard. And I think that's why the Bible says that who can find a virtuous wife? Who can? So I think the challenge for the single women is don't just work on your outward, you know. Until now I'll be doing makeup, I'll be going to the gym. You're working on the wrong thing, you know. Work at your heart, you know. Work at getting, as Gathoni has said, a gentle and a quiet spirit. Because that, for me, I believe, if a woman can get that, she'll not have to walk around the market. The men will come for her. God gives women so much power, so much knowledge, so much everything. And now you have to wield it under control, you know. You have to control it. You have to subdue it and subject it under a man, you know. But that is where the promise is, or that is where the gift is, in you holding your power but subduing it. That is a wise woman. Yeah. Don't just wield your power, you know, confront. Like I see so many people, so many women, even there, confrontational, unajua? Wako, unajua, always fighting mode. I don't know why you're always on a fighting mode, you know. That is very unattractive to a man, you know. A woman who is always, you know, kama wekamu, kuja, tutapelekana.
Kuja, kwani wewe nani?
Yeah, wewe ni nani? Man to man, unajua. Yeah, you're a woman, you know. Fight differently.
So nafan kama weka.
Yeah, fight differently.
Yeah, but woman nafan weka.
Yeah.
I should be gentle.
Be gentle, yeah.
I get
be gentle,
it.
yeah. Fight differently. Fight differently.
With wisdom.
Yeah. The Bible says this, that husbands, as I end now, really, husbands, live with your wives according to understanding. Because even though she's the weaker sex, she's an equal heir of you of eternal life. So that your prayers will not be hindered, you know. And as Gathoni, she said is that one of the areas that women need understanding to live with women is about intimacy, you know. You need to understand that a woman is not like you, you know. Her needs are very, very different. Her needs, I can call men hardware, women are the software. They're the thing that runs the computer, you know. But they are soft, they are gentle, and they are different. And as men, we need understanding to live with you guys, you know. A lot of understanding, a lot of wisdom. Solomon's wisdom, you know, for us to live with you, for us to make the homework. But then, you know, the reward is that your prayers will not be hindered. You know, you'll be praying, God, you know, think of anything you can pray. God, you know, make me a governor tomorrow. God is like, because he has lived with his wife with understanding, I will hear his prayer. You know, but men are here praying, you know, fasting, going to mountains. And then the way they treat their wives, God is like, hey, boss, first and foremost, go and make up with your wife before you come in my presence. Yeah, and so, there's some lesson for us to learn there. Yeah.
I honestly, there's a huge part of me that doesn't want to wind up. Because I think the more you talk, the more I get ideas, the more I get... But maybe this would be standalone conversations so that we don't lose. We don't lose track. But I feel like we could honestly do this again. Because even the more you talk, the more, you know, when you've said, like, I feel like we really need a show on submission alone. Because I have not seen areas where it has been connected to power. I have not seen ways where someone has spoken of submission as power. Even why a woman was told to submit. It always looks like you are told to submit because he's the superior gender. You submit. So I'm just getting ideas on very standalone conversations that we could be able to have. When you put LeBron, Curry, you put Messi and Cristiano. Hey, even people one day called Steph Curry a simp, man. What are you doing, my guy? You're simping so much. And now to say they are the most successful, kujani to simp. All of us, if simping will make us all get there, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, my people. I'm being told not to wind up by our producer Damaris because she says there is a statement you made.
Yes, I did.
And you said married women are easy to sleep with.
To sleep with, yes.
Married women are easy to sleep with.
Yes.
So married women are easy to have an affair with.
Yes.
Why?
Exactly. Married women are the easiest to have an affair with. Especially is because a lot of married women, like my wife, she told me is that if she finds a guy who can show her care and intimacy, then it will not take long before that guy gets into her pants. Because the way to a wife's nini is through her heart. You know?
Yes.
It's through her heart. It's the way you make her feel. Let me say that. And so you see, there are some men who have perfected that art, you know, of feigning care, feigning, you know, interest, you know, feigning that, wow, I like your hair. You changed your hair. I didn't notice that. Hey. Yeah. Before long, that guy will become your biggest threat. Because now your wife is going to, some parts of her are going to be awakened that have been lying dead for so long, you know. She's going to begin feeling things she has never felt, you know. And before long, she'll begin to warm up to this man. And that is why I think the affairs of women are very complicated. Because a man can sleep with a woman he doesn't love, but not so for a woman.
No.
A woman, her heart is connected. And once you connect her heart, then you'll get into her pants. And that is why for us husbands, I think it is a wake-up call. That do not think that, you know, my wife is too mature to need intimacy. You know, those are childish things, you know. Do not think that because even a 50-year-old woman, once that thing is awakened, you know, she will go and she will never look back, you know. And she will forget even her own children. You know, the way women love children, she'll forget that because of the way she feels. Because for a woman, sex to her is not just sex, you know. It's not just sex. It is connected to her heart. And so for a woman to be able to give you her body, she's already given you her heart.
You see now why I say we need standalone conversations on these things, because who would have thought?
Who would have thought that?
You know, but you know that's what they've always said. But then they say the moment you see a woman go out there to another, she's already connected emotionally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, utakaa tu hapa.
Exactly.
Na hizo land.
Exactly.
But me, I'm out.
Exactly.
And I'm going to start life from scratch.
Exactly.
With another man.
Yes.
But you had a singles event, watu wako WhatsApp groups. Where can people find these things? Wasiseme Lynn, you are gatekeeping.
We on our profiles on Instagram, we have all the links of all the different groups that are there. We have for the married, we have for businesses, we have for now singles in different categories. We have 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 and above. Yes. So their WhatsApp, so they can just
check it out. Okay, guys, the socials are on your screen right now. But you love what you're doing?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yes.
In fact, we have an event for the married coming up.
Wow, when?
Yeah, on the 5th of October.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be at the Mamlaka Gardens.
Okay.
So it is about sex and intimacy.
For married couples.
For married
That's
couples,
nice.
Yeah, for married couples,
That's nice.
Yeah.
Twendeni.
Karibuni.
Karibuni sana.
Endeni.
Yes.
That is not so 5th of October.
5th of
At
October.
Mamlaka Gardens.
Tickets are available at madfund.com.
How much is a ticket?
It is
3,500 for a couple.
For a couple.
couple, yes.
I want to gift a couple.
Yes.
Guys, a couple means one, your husband and your wife.
Yes.
So I'll maybe gift one. See, you top it up, we gift two.
Yes,
gift
we give
to-
two.
yes.
We give two.
Elenen does one,
and
you guys can do
Yes.
the other one.
Exactly,
Studio, like we can
exactly.
give 2 tickets,
Yes.
and you guys can tell us like on the comment section why this would be an ideal event for you.
Yes, that's a
So
nice
people will
idea.
come, and what is expected
So
of the event?
expected. So I will be teaching the husbands on intimacy, and Gathoni will be teaching the wives on how to make love.
Hey. Ningewaulizia kwa show lakini endeni.
Yes.
By then ningewaibia Mwakenya kidogo, but I feel I won't be doing justice to that event, because I feel like what you've given us is a lot. And I feel like people, you see, because you need to be intentional about also why do I want to attend this event. So I could be giving information to someone who is not intentional. So I feel like it's important for them to come and be intentional about it. When you commit to something, you know why you are committing to something. But
and it's a tour. So we have
it's a tour.
So you're having in Nairobi, you're having in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in Eldoret, in Kisumu, and Nakuru. So they're different on the platform. They have the different dates for the different cities, and then now we have also one in Kampala next year, another one in Kigali.
Na muende Turkana, muende Isiolo. Tusiwache kwa kwani mnaona wataki love making na intimacy. Kila mtu hapa ni Nairobi, peleka moja huko Elenen will partner. Even our women in Turkana, Isiolo, huko Taita huko. Unajua wako na mambo, wako na maneno wangetaka pia hao kukuanda. But I'm so proud of what you guys are doing. I know it's going to be awesome. I say the best way for us to do it is through this platform. But I love the idea of you going around, making sure even people who might even miss out on this story are, wamekuwa involved, which is good. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for Melan. Easy. Mambo kweli zingine hapa. It is what it is. It is what it is. Shukran. Allow me to let you go. And it's been a long morning for all of us, but I really do appreciate you coming through. And my dream and hope is that we can see more people individually take it among themselves. Yesterday we were with a professor and he said, the little that you know, spread it out there. You don't have to have much, but that little that you know, that you're also okay doing, that makes you happy doing, spread it. So for me, this show is a little that I know. Sindio. Wisdom. Sinione but before we wind up, maybe a parting shot to our audience, and also once again, how can people connect with you?
Okay. So I will say what marriage is a good thing. And it's good to be loved and to love. My IG is Gathoni Kiruuthi on all social media platforms. Ben?
Thank you. Also, I think everybody in the world needs to experience this. It is a beautiful thing that God made, and marriage is God's idea, and sex is God's idea. And so for me and Gathoni, our desire is that everybody alive needs to experience this at least once in your life. And even though you have loved and lost, you have not lost. My handle on social media are Ben Kiruuthi across all social media platforms.
All right. Shukran sana for spending the better part of this day with us. All the best, and I hope I see you guys on our next show together with feedback from our audience. And you guys at home, I hope you've also learned. I say the best thing that can happen to us in life is to learn from each other. Me, I have a lot of take-homes, but to love and to be loved, that's really to love and to be loved. Because we imagine una love na upendwi ama I don't know. It's a lot of great, beautiful lessons that we've been able to pick. So don't forget, if you really want to attend that event, do you have a poster?
Yes.
All right, beautiful. So if you want to attend the event, there is a poster here on the screen with all the details. You can also connect with them on their different social media handles. They are on the screen. That's 5th October at Mamlaka Gardens, and you can be able to check out the rest of the details on their respectful social handles. Honestly, I keep saying we are the home of thought-provoking conversations. So share your feedback. It's really important important for me because it influences the direction that we want to take as a network. Feedback is really important. That's something I don't shy away from. Respectful feedback, guys, respectful feedback. So you can leave it on the comment section. But we've had quite an amazing show, so the team, shukran sana. Me, I'ma see you tomorrow. You know the time, either 10 a.m. or 7 p.m. Bye bye.